Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Drampa in the Open Ultra League, and I can already say you before this video starts, this Pokemon surprised me. It was actually way better than I expected. Of course, I'm not gonna say that this team wouldn't work out if you would bring something like a Dragonite in the back, but in general I would recommend you to try this team out and then maybe use a different kind of dragon in the back. But honestly, this team was a lot of fun. The cool benefit about Drampa, by the way, is there's currently a ton of Jellicent, and honestly I did not even know that the first battle had a Jellicent here, so that's kind of great to showcase it as well. But you're going to resist all of their moves. Like, you're going to double resist the fast move plus Shadow Ball, and Surf is not going to do that much damage. You have to definitely keep in mind that Drampa is a fairly squishy Pokemon. So we're going to still take some damage here. They can go for another Surf afterwards, but if they would reach another one afterwards, they might have to use a shield. Cool thing about Drampa though is the coverage this Pokemon has. Having access to the move Fly is just amazing, and this team could have maybe even worked out a little bit better, but it was already really strong. So you're going to see quite a few wins here. I actually climbed up with this team, which I did not expect, and I'm above like 3000 rating right now, so like you don't even have to say that, oh yeah, low elo or whatever. No, this team actually worked out really well. What definitely was the best Pokemon though on the team was Talonflame. This thing just shred through everything. This Pokemon was so overpowered. Really recommend you to try out Talonflame if you have not done this yet. Here of course saves up our Giratina, which we don't even need for the first battle, so let's move right into the second one here. This is a little bit of a trickier one. We're going to be forced to swap out basically immediately here. Skeledirge is going to be a little bit tricky, and we're gonna get greeted by a Greedent. What a nice one. There actually was not even intended as a pun here, but it definitely still worked out for us. We can go for some Dragon Claws, but it's of course not really a positive matchup, as our fast move is going to be double resisted. They have super effective crunch, and they get immediately a defense drop. Not really ideal for us, but it is what it is, right? We can still at least get some damage onto the opponent. I can go for another Dragon Claw here, as they're gonna go for their own charge move. I might want to swap out afterwards as well. Keep my I don't think it's actually worth it to keep this Pokemon alive, to be fair, at this point. But yeah, we're going to have a pretty bad lead matchup, or like a pretty neutral lead matchup. You can actually play it out against the opponent Skeledirge. It's not the worst matchup, but my backline was just better against Skeledirge. That's why I wanted to swap out here. And I guess now getting the Greedent low is kind of nice, but issue is here that the opponent will be able to get to 3 more body stamps. The matchup of the Giratina against Greedent is just so bad for us that they have so much energy here that they're going to be able to just spam me with those body stamps. And we are not in a great spot. Like, we are just really in a bad spot. We have to hope there's something in the back that we can beat with our Drampa. We can swap out, and they have a Poliwrath in the back, so this was a quick one. Next opponent, Gliscor on the lead. You can kind of want to stay in here. I would imagine you can even go for the Fly if you want to. So here the opponent goes straight for the charge move. Let's see if it's the Aerial Ace or if it's going to be the Night Slash. It's just going to be the Aerial Ace, which is a little bit safer to play because the opponent knows, okay, I'm not going to get the boost. I know that he's not going to get the boost, and he also takes a little bit more energy to get there. But of course, it's a stab move, so in general, it does a little bit more damage. But it's definitely the more favorable move basically that I would like to see in this matchup. So here I'm gonna be able to go for another Fly, gonna get them low. I can swap out, and I can even farm them down here, as this next incoming Aerial Ace is not going to do any damage against me. Giratina, one of the bulkiest Pokemon, in comes now the Ampharos, most likely carrying the move Brutal Swing, as this is going to be super effective against us. We're still going to be in a decent spot though. We're gonna get them fairly low with the Dragon Claws. They're forced to go for 2 charge moves basically back to back, and so we're gonna be in a very good spot for us. They're gonna go for the first charge move now. It does not knock me out no matter what they have, unless maybe if they would run a Dragon Pulse, they most likely would actually knock me out, but nobody is doing that because it's a pretty bad move, which is also a move that the Drampa would learn. But let's see here, we're gonna be able to go for the full farm down. In the back we're going to have Annihilape. Do they know about our moveset? Let's find out together. Drampa is going for the Fly, would be super effective, and boom, gonna do a ton of damage, and you can now just farm them all the way down. Use a shield here, and Drampa just was able to clean up this game. This Pokemon was actually so much better than I thought. Moving on, next opponent here, we're going to have a great lead for us. It's going to be Cresselia, and comes now the Ampharos and Drampa. Unlike the Cresselia, but actually also unlike the Cresselia, but unlike then the Giratina, is not going to get a super effective damage from the Brutal Swing, which is kind of nice for us. They could let this move go through, it's going to be resisted, but they don't. And for me, I kinda am fine with this matchup now. They're gonna go for their charge move. Go for it, man. Like, go for it. I know already that I'm going to be able to beat the Cresselia with both of my Pokemon that I still have left. So I'm just going to be able to align my Talonflame here and get some more energy as the opponent decides to go ahead and go into their Cresselia again, and what this tells us is that they're going to be double weak against Cresselia, like, not against Cresselia, against the Talonflame in the back. I'm so bad at talking right now, but yeah, definitely going to be double weak against the Talonflame in the back, which is going to be really good knowledge for us, because now we can use a shield here. It's going to be a future sight, which is amazing. I was not sure if Fly would do enough damage after we got the buff here. Let's see if it's going to be enough. It is not, but at least we're gonna get some extra energy. I tried to go for another charge move, it did not work out, but at least we have a ton of energy still stored, and they're swapping out into the Poliwrath, and at this point we all know this game is over. We're going to be able to go for the Fly, gonna get the shield, I can go for another Fly afterwards. This is going to be able to not knock them out most likely, but get so much damage onto them that no matter what they want to do here, there's nothing that they can do, as our Pokemon in the back here, our Giratina, is primed to sweep, and the opponent knows it as well, and so they decide to forfeit. Moving on, we're going to encounter one of the worst possibilities I could really think about for this team, and this is something that I definitely feel like is a little bit of an issue for this one. It is going to be the Dragonite. Dragonite getting very fast to the charge move here of the Dragon Claw, plus also having super effective damage against both of our Pokemon in the back, plus resisting the fire type damage is kinda annoying. I tried to go for basically the charge move here perfectly, but they were able to catch it, which is really annoying. If I was able to land that charge move against the Dragonite, this would have been a completely different game. Kind of showcases again a little bit of potential of improvement here if I just went straight for my move, but the opponent made it a little bit smarter there and just caught the move there against me. But I guess they don't really do it that smart at this position, because they're gonna take so much damage already that I even can still get to another Dragon Claw, which they're going to be forced to, yeah, basically shield up, and they still have to go for a charge move against me, which is kind of wild. So I can let this move go through. It's going to be the Icy Wind. They are at 55 energy now. I can get one fast move in. The opponent is gonna go for their charge move here. I'm gonna let this move go through. It's going to be a Scald, and they don't get the debuff. So I should be able to farm down here, right? Ah, wrong, sadly. But again, like, if I just got the Dragon Claw off earlier, I would have been in a way better spot. I can still go into my Drampa. I have a shield advantage, which is kind of nice, which I'm going to lose basically immediately because the Dragonite has some energy. But what you're going to see next is kind of madness as well. We're going to see that the opponent has a Talonflame in the back, and we're going to see now the outrage landing against the opponent. Is this enough to one-shot the Talonflame? Let's take a look at this. It is barely not enough, and we just see them there survive with a 1 HP. If they didn't survive with 1 HP, would have been able to farm everything down. So unlucky. Also, maybe, I don't know, like IVs could also help out a little bit with Drampa, but definitely I feel like this Pokemon has more potential than a lot of people think. Would be of course cool if it would learn something like a Breaking Swipe or whatever. This Pokemon would actually be really solid, would learn Breaking Swipe, and I think it would be also kind of balanced, because it does not really have the craziest amount of bulk, it has already Fly as good coverage, or like Body Slam would be also cool for this Pokemon. Being part normal type, give it like some kind of Body Slam step thing there would be really cool, but maybe Niantic is gonna do something for that later on. But as you're gonna see here, you're gonna see the opponent going for a lot of charge moves here. I can still go for another charge move against the Annihilape. By the way, what I would recommend you against Annihilape in the lead, if they run Ice Punch, it's going to be very good for you. If they run Night Slash, it's going to be a little bit trickier for you. But go for 1 Flame Charge and then go for 2 Flies if they want to basically play out the 2-shield scenario. Because if you go for 1 Flame Charge in the beginning, you're going to have 10 extra energy. And those 10 extra energy allow you to get to 2 more Flies in just 2 more fast move each. And this is kind of nice because you're always going to be able to basically outspeed the opponent with that, as they basically were able to see there as well in this video. It was kind of nice to do that. Also, you know what's really nice as well? We can even go for another Dragon Claw here, but you know what's even better? We can now go into our Drampa, and the opponent expected us to go into our Talonflame, of course, being a great answer for this Pokemon. So they went for the Zap Cannon, completely wasting the energy, allowing us to reach another charge move here. Flame Charge is coming through. Flame Charge is going to knock them out, but still at least gonna get them low enough that we should be able to go for a full Dragon Breath down against the opponent. Let's see what they're going to try to do here. They go into the Ampharos, it does not work out, and we can win this game. Moving on, again, one of my nemesis here, basically. I feel like most of my losses were actually against like Dragonite leads for this team, and of course here the opponent makes it a little bit smaller. They actually were able to swap out into their Fairy type in the back, and this game was actually really interesting because we basically gonna get completely hardwalled this game, but it's still going to be a very interesting one, which you're going to see here. You're gonna see the Weezing here already, hardwall against our Giratina. We saw already that our lead got completely hardwalled, but it is like, that's kind of why you should not always give up up immediately. We're going to be able to go for another charge move here. The opponent is going to take this one. We're going to get them kind of low. They're forced to still go for a charge move themselves, which is kind of decent for us, because this is going to allow us to now align our Talonflame, get a ton of energy. They're going to go for the overheat most likely, which is going to do a little bit more damage than the Brutal Swing would do, even though it's resisted. And we can swap out immediately, and we're going to see that they stay in for a little bit, and so we're going to get them low, fairly low. And if we're going to be able to have something nice in the back, it's going to be a Clefable, exactly what you want to face as a Dragon-type Pokemon. Right, of course, right here, so you're gonna get the fly onto the opponent. But, yeah, we still are not in a spot where I would give up yet, because you're gonna see here, I can still reach a Flame Charge, and this Flame Charge is going to boost my own attack. I expect a shield here, and I don't get a shield. And as you're gonna see here, they survive with a 1 HP. This 1 HP completely changed the entire matchup, because otherwise I would have still had a shield basically, and I would have been able to get so much damage onto the Dragonite that I should most likely be able to just farm him down here in like 3 Incinerates, and it's just so sad that we just didn't have the shield. Got it completely hardwalled, but nearly came back from it as well, which would have been cool. But let's move on to the next opponent. I have to say, most likely also in the video for tomorrow, like the amount of Alolan Sandslash that are currently in lead is madness, which is, for me, definitely the thing that I want to face, because we have a great lead here, but also in the most likely video that you're going to see tomorrow, we have a great lead for that one as well. So Alolan Sandslash in the lead right now. I'm feasting on this Pokemon, literally getting me all the wins recently. But as you're gonna see here, we're gonna see the Pelipper matchup. I definitely misplayed this a little bit, because I knew already when I played this. I was a little bit too late in swapping out, and here I went for the CMP tie on the second Hurricane, which was pretty silly. And I knew it already basically before I threw my move that I'm mostly gonna end up in a CMP tie. Should have waited out one turn basically, would have saved me a little bit more struggle there, because now the opponent can go for the full farm down. And again, I feel like every single loss so far was something where I played it wrong or I get completely hardwalled. And this kind of showcases on how strong the combination of Talonflame and Giratina and then another Dragon is actually in the current meta. Here we're gonna have a Tapu Fini in the back. You might think, that's going to be a really bad matchup for you now, right? Honestly, Drampa surprises me every single time. We're going to be able to use a shield here against the opponent's Moonblast, which is going to be great, as we can now go for another fly against the opponent. And you also, like, I don't know why, but Dragon Breath is really chunking the opponent's health. As you're gonna see here already, we're gonna have them in the deep red health, and honestly, I make a little bit of a mistake here. I make a mistake again, which I could have also avoided, because I go for the Flame Charge here, and in hindsight I should have not done this most likely, but I was thinking this would be the easiest way of getting rid of him, and I thought I would just be able to knock out the Sandslash in like 2 Incinerates. And I'm honestly kind of wondering if this would have been actually, I think I still would be fine here. The opponent goes to another charge move, and I think this would knock them out here, and of course they survive with 1 HP again. And I think I should have got the damage and before I would have won the game anyway, but the game just didn't want me to do this. Like, there's like a 50-50 chance currently. It's kind of an inconsistency that's annoying. But we can at least finish up this video today with another Dragonite lead. Isn't this lovely? It is not. But yeah, you're going to be able to go ahead and go for another Dragonclaw here. By the way, if you're still watching till this point, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like on the video. Would really support the channel. Also subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, shoutouts to you. Thanks for watching my silly Drampa review here this early on already. We're going to be able to get another Dragonclaw against the opponent here, getting us a shield advantage, which we're going to take advantage of as well, because the opponent is not the Shadow Dragonite. And he actually decided to go into my Talonflame, getting so much energy. And this was one of the biggest mistakes. We're going to see a Hurricane landing against us. Who is running Hurricane, especially in like high up ledge and elo range? Like, I don't know why. But as you're gonna see here, the Talonflame is coming in. I can go into my Drampa, and can Drampa win this game? We're going to find out together here. We're gonna get the Brave Bird onto us, and we can see it's going to be a Venusaur against Venusaur. Fly is super effective. Drampa is just, I honestly have no idea how he flies, by the way, but he's just doing it, and he's winning us this game. Thanks all for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Check out the videos on the screen as well about the Blissey Community Day, and I see you then. Bye bye.